This weekend, ConQuest 200, we're going to go to South Texas and we're going to do a whitetail hunt with Mike Stroff from Savage Outdoors.
Is it front wheel drive?
Yeah, feels like it.
You ready to kill a deer?
I am.
Cool.
We're also going to introduce the new Heat Seeker test kit from ConQuest Sense. Heat Seeker now tells me that the rut is on here in Texas. And we're going to give you the revolutionary new Versa Skins camo clothing line that has not even hit the market yet. Stay with us here on ConQuest 200.
Are those antlers or what?
Yeah, you think? Look at that.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Texas.
Oh my goodness.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you for the creation of the white-tailed deer. May we grow with knowledge to preserve what you have given us as we are in amazement of this animal. May it remind us of your glory and your presence in our lives.
We pray that your Holy Spirit will guide us to be respectful of your creation
As our souls find peace
in the great outdoors. Amen.
ConQuest 200 is brought to you by Key Apparel, makers of Polar King. Rule the elements. In the past 3 years, Doug Roberts has traveled back and forth from Michigan to Kansas for a chance at shooting a dream buck on video.
Well, we just finished our last evening hunt here in Kansas, and we didn't see a single deer. But tonight, we got skunked.
Being torn between passion and work allowed Doug to make a decision to give up that dream and concentrate on the priorities that matter most.
That yellow is all of the scent coming out of the gland. He's in rut right now, so it's extra big. But
Being in the hunting industry and living on a deer farm, I don't get time to hunt. I really don't. And I had to make the decision a year ago that business and family has to come before my pleasure, and that is deer hunting in the fall. But unbeknownst to me, Karen booked me a whitetail hunt in December. It's always a good sign when you see that right there. I'm gonna go hunt whitetails. South Texas.
You know, I kind of did some little handiwork of my own when I met with Mike Stroff at ATA. Like we do with everyone that we sponsor, we do our howdy do's because they become good friends of ours. So I asked Mike, you know, do you got an opening that Doug could just come down there and hunt with you? Mike was more than happy to jump on that and set up some dates that Doug could choose from.
We have 2.5 miles and we're right to where you're at. Well, the ranch that we're actually going to this year is a brand new ranch to Mike. Mike just bought this about 6 months ago. It's a low fence ranch, but it's filled with water. It's got water wheels on it. It's got creek beds. But in this area, South Texas, normally it's very, very dry. So it's a very unique piece of property that holds a large number of animals because of the water ability. I'm excited to spend some time down there and do this whitetail hunt with a 10-point crossbow.
How squirrely are you feeling up with this manly vehicle you got here? I got one spot that's like 20 yards long that's a little wet on this driveway, or I can take you up the other road.
Do you think I can get through?
Is it front wheel drive?
Yeah, feels like it. Yeah, front wheel drive. I can
My
see
little
it.
boy comes out here and he'll drive that thing till the gas runs out of it. Good to
How
see
you
you.
been? It's good to see you, man.
You ready to kill a deer?
I am.
Cool.
You know, Mike and I have become good friends over the years because we have sponsored his TV show with our scent company. And realizing he also shoots 10-point crossbow, I thought, why am I going to bring mine with me? I'll just use his down there. So we get down there, he gets his out, and we had to do some fine tuning with the crossbow, but it didn't take long. It was pretty simple.
Now that one will kill a deer. He can go now. You're allowed to go hunting now.
But before we go, I wanted to start testing with the Heat Seeker test kit because the rut was on. It was very cool weather. The bucks were starting to chase, according to Mike, and I wanted to start seeing if we could get a reaction off one of the test cards using that Heat Seeker test kit.
There's a scrape being active and used.
ConQuest Scent's Heat Seeker. It allows hunters to test scrapes in the areas they want to hunt. Much like checking trail cameras midday, Doug starts his trip with completing a couple 5-minute tests to determine if there are any hot does in the area. If the test turns red, it means the test strip has detected estrus pheromones and a hot doe is in the area.
I think we were gone for 10, 15 minutes, and then we came back, and there was no reaction, okay? We have to understand the majority of reactions are going to be non-reactions in this test kit. What we're looking for is that one reaction. We set it up one more time. We kind of went and did a little more scouting, had no reaction on that, and we thought, okay, time to get out for the evening hunt.
I'm gonna lay one right there and see what happens.
Coming up next, big bucks are in range when Doug uses the rattling horns on a midday prake. All this and more on ConQuest 200. This segment was brought to you by Hanchart Chiropractic. We get your back in the game. ConQuest 200 is brought to you by Key Apparel, makers of Polar King. Rule the elements. By ConQuest Scents, makers of Evercom and VS1. By Grizzly Coolers and United Deer Farmers of Michigan. And Armada Grain Company. And by 10 Point Crossbows. Doug Roberts is hunting South Texas with SOE Hunts and host Mike Stroff from Savage Outdoors. The first evening hunt resulted in a few does, and Doug is back in the same blind for the morning hunt.
The blind we were in was tucked into the edge of a sendero, and so we had a very small window, a little one out in front of us and a little one off to my left. And so it was very tight. Across this was maybe only 15 yards, and we had an encounter. Didn't catch any of the scent of the VS1, and he just kept kind of grazing and grazing, and then as he started to walk across the leave, he got directly downwind from the stink stick with the VS1. He turned, brought his nose right to it, smelled it. And the amazing thing about this whole process was not so much him smelling the stink stick, but as soon as he did, you could see his body reaction was, oh my gosh, there's a doe in heat around here.
What it did is it put total focus on that stink stick. Had no clue of paying attention to anything else, and gave us a perfect 25-yard shot opportunity if it would have been the buck I wanted to take.
You know, with this buck, I had the perfect shot opportunity. And understand, I explain this to hunters all the time. Scent is designed to give you a 3 to 5 second window of opportunity to get the shot on the buck you're looking for. This setup that you just saw and I just experienced did that exactly. It gave me the opportunity. It just wasn't the buck I'm looking for. The buck I'm looking for is a big 6x6, a lot bigger buck. But what an experience using scent products.
After the morning hunt, Mike Stroff picks up Doug and heads over to another spot to rattle up a possible buck before lunch.
We sat down, we had some scent products put out. We literally just waited for Mike to leave, and I hit the rattling antlers, and I mean, I no more than hit the rattling antlers, and immediately here's a buck just staring us down. He come up out of the riverbed. I mean, this buck was aggressive. He wanted to hurt somebody. He wanted to fight. He was a fighter. So not a shooter buck that I was looking for, but it was amazing to see how quick he responded to the rattling and then circled all the way around us in this little short brush, still looking for those 2 bucks that were engaged in this fight, which in my mind as a deer farmer tells me I'm almost going to dare to bet there's does in heat in this part of the ranch. As we got out of the blind and we kind of headed down the 2-track, there was a very well-used scrape right there. And so we set up and we ran the heat seeker test kit on that, and we got a reaction. I mean, that thing turned bright red. We call it the ring of fire. Now, the scenario is perfect here. We've got bucks that are extremely aggressive. We know we have does in heat in this area. This is where I want to be hunting. This is where the dominant bucks on this ranch are going to be right now because of the does in heat. So let's get back to the ranch, reset our stink sticks with VS1, get our waters, get back out in the blind. Even though it's early afternoon, get out in the blind for the evening hunt and wait it out the entire evening. When we come back from break, I'm going to have an encounter with a massive, awesome South Texas buck. Stay tuned with us on ConQuest 200, only on the Sportsman's Channel.
This segment was brought to you by High Rack Ranch of Michigan. This week's tip from the Deer Professor is brought to you by Heat Seeker.
I want to show you something that's not even out on the market yet. It's called VersaSkins. VersaSkins is a base layer suit, coat and pants that comes camouflage, but then you can simply buy these skins, different camouflage patterns, and they zip on and they snap on over the base layer. So what does that mean for us hunters? No more spending literally thousands and thousands of dollars on different camo pattern outfits. So it's literally one suit for 4 seasons, for all the seasons you want to hunt. Waterfowl, pheasant hunting, upland birds, deer hunting, predator hunting. You've got these different individual packs that come in a kit. Here's a couple of the neat features of it. 1, heavy duty zippers, waterproof zippers for all of your pockets, heavy duty snaps around everywhere that you have to snap on. If you even look, the base layer coat, it has an inner lining where you can put your cell phone, you got your earbud compartments coming out. They have thought of every single thing in this suit. So again, it's cost effective to get all of these different patterns in one base layer outfit with all the different skins. Go to versaskins.com and pre-order your outfit today. I already have.
Doug Roberts is hunting South Texas with Mike Stroff. After rattling in a buck before lunch, Doug decides to test some scrapes with Heat Seeker. This test can detect estrus pheromones in the air over scrapes.
So I put a drop of the solution into the middle, that's where the yellow is. It absorbs through and then it reacts to estrus pheromones in the air and turns red. It creates a red ring of fire around the yellow dot. Heat Seeker now tells me that the rut is on here in Texas. And we're settling down for the evening hunt now. Again, I got the crossbow ready and we're just, the cameraman and me, Dave, we're just getting ourselves organized. And I look up and there he is. I mean, this giant buck is standing at the other end of the food plot and he's just staring our direction. I'm going, well, we are so busted. He finally works his way in to just a little over 30 yards and turns broadside. I said, okay, I'm going to take him. I go to raise the crossbow. The 10 point comes up, he turns and he walks straight away.
kinds of things. My heart came out of my throat and went back down the bottom of my gut. That's one thing. I can shoot 40 yards, but being this early in the afternoon hunt, him coming out, I thought he'll just work his way this way. I don't know what made him all of a sudden kind of beeline.
I'm sitting there and I'm totally bummed. And I start glassing, and all of a sudden I realize about 80 yards out, I see something move every now and then. And I look and I'm looking, and all of a sudden I realize he went out and bedded down.
I mean, the amazing thing is we can see his antlers, and he just went out there and bedded down. Beautiful, typical bed. I couldn't have.
And I sat there and I started to think as a deer farmer, what's this deer gonna do? Over the next 4 hours till dark, what do I think this buck is gonna do? And all of a sudden it hit me. I looked over and I nudged Dave. I said, we're fine. I says, that buck's gonna stay bedded, and as soon as the first doe comes into this field, he's gonna get up, he's gonna follow it in, because there's does in heat in this area, and he's patterned this area as his and is waiting for the does to come in for him to breed.
There's more ConQuest 200 when we return. Right after these messages. ConQuest 200 is brought to you by Key Apparel, makers of Polar King, rule the elements. By ConQuest Scents, makers of Evercalm and VS1. By Van Beek Natural Science, and by Ray C's The Extreme Store. By VersaSkins and Herd Evolution, premium deer feed. Hunting with SOE Hunts and Mike Stroff, Doug Roberts just had an encounter with a huge South Texas buck. With no opportunity for a shot, Doug had to watch the giant walk back into the sagebrush and disappear.
And all of a sudden I realized he went out and bedded down. We're set in a very good position, because as soon as a doe walks into this field, that buck's gonna stand up, he's gonna come in, he's gonna scent check her, because he's just waiting in this area to breed does. And sure enough, my hunch was right. Here comes the first doe in, he stands up, and here he comes walking in. And I told Dave right away, the cameraman, I said, the first opportunity he gives me at a shot, I'm taking it. I'm not waiting this time to watch him walk off again. So during this time, to help keep my adrenaline under control, I kept range finding him. I way overdid range finding, okay? But every time he'd move a little bit, I'd hit him with a rangefinder. It gave me something to do. But when he got into that 35-yard range, okay, we're done. Set the rangefinder down. Now we're ready to go. Now it's just waiting for him to turn broadside and letting that 10-point crossbow do its work.
Looked like I smoked him right behind the front shoulder. Thank you, dear Lord. A second chance in one evening. God delivered me a perfect picture buck of what I love. Last one out this distance, I have a hard time seeing blood.
I don't think your eyes are good at all.
My eyes aren't good.
Because he's right there.
Oh my goodness,
Good job,
thank you.
Yeah, go.
Oh,
you grab it first.
smoke, are those antlers or what?
Yeah, you think?
Holy,
Those are some South Texas heavy horns there, buddy. Look at that.
Are you kidding me?
Welcome to Texas.
You know, I think about this hunt, the 10-point crossbow, the heat seeker test kit, the Versus skins, and the scent products just working, and then to top it off, this magnificent South Texas buck. I couldn't have asked for a more completed, more satisfying hunt to be on.
You know, we started with you guys how many years ago?
We were talking about that last night. I don't know. It's been
Really
a while.
kind of when you started,
Yep.
when we started.
It's been 11-12 years at a minimum.
Yeah, I think it's at least 12 years.
Yep.
Thank you.
Hey,
thank you. Thank you. Thank you to my wife.
Thanks, Karen.
She seriously knows how I love to hunt, and this is like a dream. So thank you, dear Lord, and thank you to my wonderful, gorgeous wife for knowing how important this is.
For Doug Roberts, he's usually the guy that listens to the successful hunting story told. Now, with antlers in hand, his story of a big buck that gave him a second chance is one he'll remember and share forever.
When everybody's going on trips or vacations or hunts, and for Doug, who commits his whole life to raising deer and to manufacturing product, to actually get to see it work, it finally gets to be a part of Doug's hunting experience. How exciting is that? It's like payday. That's payday.